Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR today, March 1st, 3/1/22. It's Tuesday. The man they call Meathead and my normal Tuesday partner is off on assignment, so we brought in the gentleman squire, the man on the streets, the Mathew Thomas of Mathew Thomas's Mathew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew.
So what you're saying, I'm your man Tuesday. I'm
You're
your
my man toots
I'm
is
your
what you are.
MT. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. You know what? I like this little variety pack we've been having the last couple of weeks, and I get to dissect Monday Night Raw, which I don't normally get to dissect. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, you're my man toots. That's a reference to second to last season of Scrubs, where he got interviewed by Dr. Mantoots.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Matthew, speaking of twos, well, not twos, but toots, but tell me about our sponsor.
Well, they've got shirts for just about everybody, collar and elbow brand, available at the URL collarandelbowbrand.com. And if you don't want to pay full price, you can pay full price. But if you are in that segment of the world that just doesn't want to pay full price for stuff, when you go to the checkout, you can enter promo code Linda, KLINDAKAY, and save yourself 10%. And you can take that money that you save to buy more collar and elbow stuff, or you can just maybe convert it to change, just all pennies. And just to really realize how much money you saved, you can take all that money you saved, go to the bank, get them to change pennies, and just have all that coinage just weighing down your pants. So when you're walking around the street or wherever you are, you're like, man, I saved a lot of money from collar and elbow.
You got saggy britches. You got saggy britches.
No, but I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, people, a lot of times you don't appreciate exactly what a dollar is, but when you change that dollar into 100 pennies, it's like, man, that's a lot of money.
You know who did appreciate what a dollar is and 100 pennies? So you guys know me. I'm the man they call Meathead, and I'm a bit of a clown. My mom says I'm special. I made a bet with a very close to your personal friend over $1, but this friend lived halfway across the country. And he says, well, how are you going to get me my dollar? I said, oh, I'll get you $1. So I got a box. I glued 100 pennies to the inside of the box.
That's great.
Paid whatever the shipping was, which was more than $1, and I mailed him that $1.
Oh, that's
all
wonderful.
The pennies glued to the box.
That's wonderful. See, you're familiar with, what money looks like and probably tastes like.
Well, I'm familiar with what glue tastes like, too, because I was covered in it. Matthew, let's do the news here. First off, there is talk that The Undertaker may not be the only introduction into the 2022 Hall of Fame. I really am on board with what Bully Ray started floating out there, with Undertaker being the sole inductee into the 2022 Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, same here. And again, like, the logistics, you got to think about that too. You're going to have fans sitting through a 2-hour SmackDown, and then you are going to, move stuff around. And we got a party that starts at 10, man. They got to get done. They got to tie that stuff up.
They got to wrap that show up. It needs to be an hour to 2 hours max.
Yeah.
I mean, the show starts at 10. If you want to get in where you fit in, let's talk about that party real quick. Shenanigans. There was another announcement yesterday, Matthew.
That's what I heard. They're just, it's WrestleMania season. All kinds of announcements are starting to drop.
Sorry if anybody crashed into a pole there, but X-Pac 6, Sean Waltman, going to be at Shenanigans. He's now one of the cover athletes along with Kevin Nash. You know, it's funny. Kevin Nash and X-Pac are on the cover of the Shenanigans website and Pro Wrestling Report. You know where else they're going to be on the cover of in March?
Let's see. Is that you talking about the WWE, the new game?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, there's an NWO package you can buy, right?
Absolutely. It's Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, and X-Pac. So does that mean we're getting Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan? I don't know. It's Shenanigans. Anything can happen.
I don't know. You said it, not me.
Yeah. Shenanigansparty.com. Get on over there. Get signed up for one of the packages. If you get signed up for the top one, it's going to be all you can eat, all you can drink, VIP access, table service, spa. I mean, all of that stuff. You can go ahead and get taken care of, and autographs and pictures with everybody at the building. Get on over to the website, shenanigansparty.com. All right, the Undertaker news is done. Let's move on over to one of his greatest rivals throughout the Attitude Era, Triple H. We're still worried about the man because he had his cardiac event, and Triple H may never wrestle again. I mean, there's got to be no chance in hell, pun intended, that he's going to wrestle at WrestleMania this year. But Triple H may not wrestle again.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully he does whatever he needs to do for himself. I'd love to see him back in a ring at some point if that's something he can do, and if there's a chance that is a risk, then I don't want to see him back in a ring because it's not a risk worth taking.
It's not a risk worth taking. No,
not
at all.
Not at all. So just wish the best to him, and I look forward to at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future, to see him on WWE programming in some capacity.
All right, ready to talk a little Raw from last night?
Let's do it.
All right. They start off with the KO show. Was Kevin Owens wearing the hat correctly? Because it felt like maybe he wasn't.
Depends on who you ask. I mean, I'm not one to make a negative comment about somebody's style. I mean, you can do whatever you want to. Here's the thing. I had a little controversial element here a few weeks ago. See, I thought that you could wear white once January 1st rolled around. Like, you can't wear white after Labor Day, but then once the calendar renews for the next year, it's game on. So basically the white season is from January 1 until Labor Day. You can wear white, but then you can't wear it after Labor Day. But I was told recently you cannot wear white until Memorial Day. So Memorial Day to Labor Day is when you can wear white, not January 1st.
You can't wear white to Easter?
Exactly. I think I got some faulty information. I need to research this a little more.
You're Southern, Matthew. You should know this.
You think I wear a bunch of like seersucker and whatnot? No, that's not. That's what you see in the movies and whatnot.
You're a Southern boy. You're a Southern man, Leonard Skinner. You should know these things.
So I go around wearing seersucker and linen and like those derby hats. That's pretty much that was my uniform from the time I was born until I was
I was gonna say, wasn't that what you wore in all your school pictures?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Talking about the 11 secret herbs and spices.
Yeah. You got the wardrobe down to a T.
The South will rise again. All right. Let's talk about the KO show. We haven't said it out loud, but Seth Rollins really has found his groove in the Seth freaking Rollins character right now.
Yeah.
He's on roller skates right now when he's moving. He's found the groove.
No, he's fantastic, and that's why where he's at right now, this close to Mania, is a little bit strange. You gotta think that KO is going to break out of this and go into that rumored match that they keep rumoring, and he keeps rumoring. Is that a word or not? But where does that leave? Where does that leave Seth?
Freaking Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, let me throw this out here. Of course, everybody's talking about. It looks like the Texas stuff is happening, so Stone Cold can come back and we can have a battle of the Stunners. And I just asked, where does that leave Seth? Let me throw this out there too. Not himself directly, but there's a son of a plumber whose the original plumber's son was from Texas. And I guess the original plumber was from Texas. So there is a Texas
lineage. You think there's a tag team match there?
If we're talking about that, I'd much rather see it go Cody and Seth by itself and let Austin and Owens have their thing by themselves. I'd rather not see a tag match, but I think it's a possibility.
So you're thinking possibility of what? And Mr. Dashing taking on the team of Seth freaking Rollins and KO.
We're getting close. We're getting pretty close to Mania now, and we got to have something for Seth. And if they've got Cody, you got to think something develops between now and then for Cody. So just kind of seeing who doesn't have a dance partner. I'm just throwing.
So let's talk about what's on TV right now. Seth and KO still believe that they've got their path to WrestleMania lined up through the tag team titles next week. I don't think there's any chance that Seth and KO win that match.
No, not.
So who wins it? The RK Bro or is it the Alpha Academy?
I think you see RK Bro at Mania vying for the tag team titles. Now, whether that means they win it and they go in as tag team champions, or whether they're challenging for it at Mania, RK
What
Bro
about
has
the
been.
Street Profits?
Uh, that'd be okay. I mean, they did get. We'll get to it a little bit later, but you had a win last night with the Street Profits picking up the win.
Over
So
RK Bro, yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, it's kind of a Brett Owen type of deal where if RK Bro does win next week, Street Profits are not in that match. Street Profits have a case for it. So Street Profits on Mania with an AT&T stadium size rain down of Solo Cups. I think
Oh, that
that's
would be awesome.
yeah, I think that's got something to it. And again, RK Bro, one of the most successful, positively received things WWE has done
Well,
this
Matt
year. I
Riddle
think
didn't
you
make it to the
showcase.
ring with both of his flip flops.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I think you got to showcase that at Mania. So I'm feeling RK Bro with the title win and probably challenging, or the Street Profits probably challenging at Mania.
Okay. Alpha Academy took on Rollins and Owens with the win over Shush. Love the t-shirts, by the way. Thank you. Dude, Kevin Owens saying, dude, he says that weird.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? He says that weird. Say it again. Oh, thank you. Why do you say that weird?
This was fun. This was two heel teams interacted with each other and kind of what you'd expect. So Owens is a great character.
Well, again, Owens and Rollins with the win. They feel their path to WrestleMania is settled, and they're on the way till next week. M.O.T.S with a T-bar victory. Dominic Dijakovic, known currently as T-bar. What happened?
Yeah. Another one of the stories from NXT, just somebody that was brought up, and whatever they had in NXT was working, and he gets
6'9", 270.
Yeah, he gets saddled with that gimmick, and my goodness, I mean, it seems as if it has been the norm rather than the exception.
So Vince McMahon has been historically known as the guy who loves the big guys, right?
Yeah.
He's jobbing out a 6'9", 270-pound guy.
Yeah. No, because there's somebody bigger. There's somebody bigger, Meathead. And, you're feeding your big guy to an even bigger guy.
The evolution of wrestling is just eating itself.
Yeah.
Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch, Doudrop, and Nikki ASH taking on Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley. I don't like the hair whipping thing because it's real.
Well, and I want to throw this out there, too, like, Bianca did not come across as a babyface last night.
No.
That whole backstage segment where you've got the strange kind of let's talk strategy thing, and then you've got Bianca jumping in there saying she's got to get the pin because she's got to have the match and this, that, and the other. And your babyface outright mauling somebody else with a weapon. And that braid is a weapon at that juncture.
It's not a book, it's a weapon.
Yeah, that was brutal, man. And it's like, yeah, I don't like seeing that, but what story are we telling here? Like, what story are we telling? We want the fans to get behind Bianca for her to take her title back from Becky. It doesn't make sense. I really thought that backstage segment last night was going to lead to Rhea getting the tag and getting the pinfall victory over Becky. Yeah, to work her way into the match, because that dynamic, Rhea came across good, Bianca did not.
No.
So maybe that's a story that we get to in the next coming weeks, but the way that they're positioning Bianca with that segment, and then even if you notice the entry to the ring, when they're all three coming down to the ring, there was a little bit of, Bianca kind of having to be in the middle, jumping out in front with the braid. It reminded me a little bit of like Shawn jumping in front of Diesel back in the days, when they were the tag champions and everything. And Bianca's booking in this so far, I don't know what effect they're going for.
I have a problem here. And normally I would never have a problem with Tommaso Ciampa being from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, taking on Big Bob, Robert Roode. Why the two entrance songs?
Yeah.
Because when it's NXT, the crowd will chant along, "No one will survive."
Yeah.
What is that music that he's coming out to on Raw?
I don't know. But
Do they
man,
not? I mean, this is me being facetious. Do they not own the rights to the song? And NXT can only be played on NXT? What the hell?
it might lead to him getting over more on the main roster. And you can't.
I don't want him getting over. I
They
think
can't.
that's so counterproductive.
That's the thing, man. Whether you're talking about that, or whether you're talking about Cross, or whether you're talking about Big Bob. Now that they gave Big Bob his glorious theme for a little while, but not.
He has glorious theme as a U.S. champion.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about themes here. I'm talking about it has always been a tweak that has to be made at the main roster. It's like, all right, we can't trust whatever they did. We've got to improve upon it because this is the main roster, and they tweak the stuff so it doesn't frickin' work. I mean, that has
or
been
do
the
they
track
intentionally
record.
tweak it because you're getting too over?
Yeah.
How many times have we here? Let's go back. One of my favorite guys that was getting over that had to have his get over crushed, Damien Sandow.
Yeah.
Remember that when he was Mrs. Stunt Double?
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's they don't have a good track record of it.
No, and it's ridiculous. All right, so Robert Roode taking on Tommaso Ciampa, the winner Ciampa, but again, to me, that just means that the Dirty Dogs end up with a victory tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or tonight, excuse me.
Very, very possible.
This 50-50 booking. Dana Brooke sitting on the ring while Reggie jumps over was kind of cool, but the real story here, Tamina got a little lip locked with Akira Tozawa.
That was fun.
He was so worn out. He was like, Tozawa.
Well, I love the way he sold it. I love the way he got ready and puckered up and this, that, and the other, man. He did a really, really good job. That was the highlight of this segment for me. Bell to bell, this story doesn't do a ton, but I liked what we got at the end there.
Well, they had to rush this because there's other stuff they had to make time for, and I'll get to that in just a second. The Mysterios taking on Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. So when Bobby's gone, they get to be the Hurt Business, and when Bobby's around, no.
Yeah. That's precisely the case.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But the Miz talks about what happened with Logan Paul. It's official. That's going to be a tag match. It's going to be the Miz and Logan Paul taking on the Mysterios at WrestleMania. So glad they're working. Glad they got a match. They have their path to WrestleMania. But Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander win because of Miz causing interference in the match.
I mean, they're trying to build the Mysterio Miz thing for Mania. If Hurt Business can get a victory in the process, I don't think it necessarily does anything to them long term, but hey, it's a win for them in the win column, so I'm happy to see that.
RKO taking on the Street Profits. Riddle doesn't make it to the ring with 2 flip-flops. His jump was off. It was funny, but you know what? Hey, Randy, any sage-like advice for me, bro? I put the high in Ohio.
Riddle just doesn't miss.
Well, he missed with his flip-flop, but that's about it.
Yeah. But even that's a calculated not missing or a calculated miss.
They also missed by not winning the match, and there's talk that Randy might be hurt because that ending was convoluted. Randy was looking to put his leg on there, couldn't move it. Dawkins was outside, and I guess he was trying to pull his leg towards it, but then they sold it and said that he was trying to push his way from it. It was weird.
Yeah, well, that splash, I mean, and you see that's one of those moves too. Like you look at Dawkins.
You're talking about when M.O.T.S gets up in the air?
Yeah, or M.O.T.S, excuse me. Like how it's like, he's selling the impact on himself to a certain extent, but it's stiff. And I mean that, we'll get to Finn's finishing move later, but that along with Finn's finishing move are 2 really, really stiff high top rope maneuvers.
Yeah. So again, the Profits with the winner over RK Bro. Maybe the Profits get into the street ending again, or the tag team title, 3-way possible, 4-way possibly WrestleMania. I love the Street Profits.
Well, the rate they're going, you and I might actually be competing for the tag team titles at WrestleMania.
Well, you and I have been Street Profits before. You're the man of the streets, and I once lived on the streets. So
I don't see a better reason for a tag team.
Okay, Mathew Thomas. We get back to the ring. And here comes Finn Balor. I sent you a text message that said, I need to leave this here so I don't forget this. I'm going to go back to it now. For fuck's sake, 17 minutes between Finn Balor's music starting and the match beginning. 17 minutes. Do you know how many matches in the Attitude Era that would have been? That could have been 3 matches right there.
I think anybody who gets put in this spot in the future just needs to take a book to the ring with them or something and just sit in the corner or prop themselves up on the turnbuckle and just read the book. Because
2 separate full commercial breaks, 3 promos in there, while Finn Balor's still in the ring, listening to his song on repeat. And again, folks, wrestlers' theme songs aren't full 4.5 minute, masterpieces. They're usually 90 seconds and looped.
Yeah. What maybe we'll see some YouTube footage tomorrow or today of like that actually during this break. Maybe Finn was running the t-shirt cannon and the kiss cam and really getting the crowd popped up. Maybe that's what
I wonder because I've been getting into since the surgery on the shoulder a lot of stretching, right? Honestly, I may end up doing a DDP yoga in the next year because I've been really getting into stretching. When the guys stretch out right before they get to the ring, 17 minutes. Is any of that stretching matter anymore?
Yeah. I mean, it was long, and then so let's go back to the running order. So we have that, and then they come back to commercial.
Finn comes out, goes to commercial. Okay.
Yeah. And then when we come back, do we get
coming soon?
Damian Priest?
No,
that's
soon.
right. That's right. Because Veer's, I understand Veer's coming soon.
Allegedly, he's been coming for the last 6 months. I mean, it must be that tantric, meditation.
He's a busy dude.
But Veer is on his way. So we come back to the announcers, and they said, you know what? I know Finn's in the ring. It's already been a few minutes, but we need to talk about what happened on Friday night with Brock and Roman. All right, I get it. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. That's over. Maybe we should get Damian Priest out. All right, Damian Priest. We're going on a break. We'll be right back. Oh, Jesus. Here comes another commercial. So you want more running order? They come back. Did they go to the match, Matthew?
No, we got backstage with Vince, didn't we?
Vince and Theory.
Now, I want to throw this out there, too. I think at some point during this, we got the new ad for the 8-piece KFC, not just a chicken bucket, but a chicken tender bucket. Now, here's the thing. I probably can't put away 8 pieces of fried chicken in one sitting because of the bones
you're
and
Southern.
whatnot. But here's the thing, man. I was never huge. So when I was a kid, I used to have somebody because, of course, I wouldn't do this myself. I would contract.
We're trying to go 17 minutes before talking about the match. So continue.
I would contract a family member to take the crunchy off of the chicken for me so I could just eat the crunchy.
What?
That's the thing with proper fried chicken, bone and too much meat. But the thing of it is the way you bread a chicken tender, you can have enough crunch to actual meat ratio. So therefore, the likelihood of me being able to put down this 8-piece bucket of chicken tenders along with KFC's excellent size biscuits, the macaroni and cheese, the potatoes, that's a freaking nice looking combination right there. So yeah, I did stand up and pay special
attention. When we go to eat down in Texas, I want you to ask the waitress, what's the crunch to chicken ratio on the food order?
Gladly, because I've been disappointed before too.
Then again, I got the studio, so maybe we're cooking at my room.
We might be. Make sure on your inaugural grocery store trip you get proper breading material.
That's right. There we go. Oh, we're gonna have stuffing too. So.
Oh yeah. That's
but folks, we're still not at the match yet.
Stuffing as a condiment. Yeah, not a condiment, but a side.
Even after Austin Theory is worried about Vince McMahon going on the Pat McAfee show and interviewing, and the last time he had an interview, and Vince McMahon being 76, what if he attacks you? Well, Austin says he might show up to that interview. It's funny. The picture that they have of Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon, the splash graphic, that's got to be a 15-year-old picture of Vince.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the tie that he's wearing, Vince has worn a particular style tie for the last 10 years. It's a solid color at the knot and a different color going down. And he wasn't even wearing that.
Yeah. I'm fine with this being what I think I eventually want this to see is how I want this to play out is Vince does try to, have it advertised as Vince versus Pat McAfee, and Austin Theory takes the role of the guy who's looking out for Vince, who shows up and basically wrestles the match. But I'm okay if they bill it Vince and Pat.
So this started at Survivor Series, right?
With the Austin Theory thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
So this is the payoff. Looks like Austin Theory might get his big match, his big singles match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with it. Okay.
I'm okay with that too. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, it's been kind of convoluted with some of the backstage segments and the whole egg thing. My goodness, I've forgotten about that. But how many people do you bring up from NXT that have the treatment that we just talked about? That they get the gimmick watered down, that they get, this adjusted a little bit and that adjusted a little bit. Austin Theory was brought in and, hanging out with Vince. I mean, that's a big deal right there. And if you can have Austin Theory Wrestling Mania as Vince's proxy or whatever you want to call it, I think. And here's the thing, man. As far as somebody from the outside, a non-traditional wrestling celebrity, the Pat McAfee matches, I think, have been my favorite matches by a celebrity that WWE's ever done. So I'm okay with seeing McAfee in the ring.
I posed that question to Linda yesterday with Bad Bunny, with Pat McAfee. Would Johnny Knoxville have a bar that's been set, and can he beat it?
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Knoxville is he will probably attempt to reach that bar through a very, very high spot, which I think, people will look at that and say, okay, that's the guy putting himself out there, on the line. I don't see much in the way. I don't necessarily see him going the route of Bad Bunny or McAfee as far as storytelling goes. Yeah. But I think for a dude who will take physicality, that's kind of where he's coming into play.
Johnny Knoxville, in the times where he's been hit, I don't think he bumps well.
Interesting.
I mean, he can do high spots, but I don't think he bumps well. I thought McAfee bumped well. And Bad Bunny bumped well. Okay. Oh, hey, that's been about 17 minutes. So now let's talk about Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Mathew, you had said to me off air, you know what? The show really didn't have much going, but that last half hour to 45 minutes really got business cooking. It got cooking the second this match finally started. Yeah. Priest and Balor was an amazing match, and this was for the United States Championship. Your winner and new U.S. champion, Finn Balor. Priest says, you know what carried you in that match was these people, their adulation. They were never there for me when I was a fighting champion. And he attacks Balor and says, I'll tell you what, I'll be winning my belt back. The first message I texted to you right after that was?
It said, hey, how's it going, Mathew? I can't remember. What did the message say?
The Damien versus the Demon.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. You're not talking about Big D, are you?
No. The Damian Priest against the Demon for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. This just got interesting.
Oh, that's okay. I really didn't know what that text message meant until just now. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
I'm really sorry if I'm booking stuff for you.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay. It's it makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Now it makes sense, right?
Yeah. No, I'm fine with it. And here's what I liked about the end of Raw. WWE has been kind of walking that gray area fence for a little while now with a lot of these angles and a lot of these characters between babyface and heel. And here's the thing. I think you can get away with it in an AEW universe, if you will, because AEW's got a different crowd, a different fan base that can make something like what we're getting now with MJF and CM Punk work because you've got somewhat complicated storytelling. WWE, you've got, I think, a much more younger fan base there. And I think some of this stuff where they're trying to have Damian Priest is kind of a good guy, kind of a bad guy. A lot of this subtle shades of gray thing, I don't think works as well in this WWE universe. We got WWE, I will give them credit. Last night on the road to WrestleMania, they committed to some characters, and Damian Priest was one of them right here.
Yep. So let's talk about that. It's going to segue right into the main event segment. We had said that Edge last week had mentioned making you live forever and how things could be phenomenal. with what we just saw with Damian Priest and Finn Balor, boom, one falls off the table during the Edge promo. I need WrestleMania. WrestleMania needs me. Who's going to step up? And someone phenomenal did. And then we saw Edge turn. And Edge started freaking out. And Edge does a concerto a couple times on AJ Styles. And you get that somber feel as the show goes off the air. All right. So AJ Styles and Edge is going to happen. And Edge is a true heel.
Yeah. And AJ Styles is a true babyface, and it's been a while since we've had that with AJ. We really haven't had it during any of the Almost run.
No. The Edge's exact words were being almost his tag team bitch.
Yeah. And here's the thing: Edge and AJ, the rumors, not a greatly kept secret. But I was not expecting this. I was not expecting Edge to turn because of how well received Edge has been since he came back. And I think Edge, personally, is one of my favorite heels of all time. The intensity that heel Edge shows, my goodness, he can tell such a great story
with his face and his hair last night. I mean, he looked like Simba.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. He can tell such a great story with his face, and this was a great segment. And this was the first thing that, as much as I liked Damian Priest, Finn Balor, that was very newsworthy right there, having a title change a few weeks leading into WrestleMania. This was the really first big WrestleMania, road to WrestleMania moment for me that I felt this year. Like, this feels WrestleMania worthy. This feels like a big deal.
You could see the flashes up to the sign, and you can just mentally hear the music playing in the background for the promo package.
Exactly. And we got progression on the road to WrestleMania. That's been my concern since we've got so much that's already kind of laid out there. How are we going to fill the remaining weeks in the getting there? And of course, Edge had his opponent announced last night, but I think there is, multiple.
So we finally moved over into the left lane, huh?
Yep, exactly. So I'm looking forward to see. I mean, this is probably the most. This is the most intrigued I am by a feud on Raw right now, and I think probably only second to what they're doing with Brock and Roman over on the SmackDown brand.
Okay, well, that is Raw from last night, and again, sorry it took so long, but we had to put in the time that they actually put in between the commercial breaks of getting Finn out there, so it took a little bit extra.
Absolutely.
I wanted you to feel the pain.
That's what you got to do. I mean, we like to share in case the audience did not see Raw last night and they're trying to just use us as this is their Raw. We had to give them a full experience.
Speaking of the full experience, tomorrow we're going to have a Linda Kay experience happening as we break down NXT and get ready for a quite major AEW Dynamite announcement. I have to ask you one more question, Matthew, because you won't be there for the Dynamite preview, but you'll be there Thursday morning to talk review. Mathew Thomas, what is Tony Khan's big surprise this time? And to add on to that question, is Tony Khan becoming Dixie Carter?
He's got to deliver big time here. No.
Well, no, we're not talking about Little Caesars Arena because they don't deliver anymore.
Although I wouldn't mind having that Batman pizza, man. That Batman pizza kind of intrigues me a little bit. It has been said it's not talent related. Oh my goodness. I think we are. I'll put this. Here's what I'm hoping for. I would like to be able to watch my AEW pay-per-views somewhere other than Bleacher Report, because that has been such an obstacle in me being able to enjoy the AEW pay-per-views in the past. I would like for AEW's pay-per-view streaming AEW's pay-per-view distribution.
You'd like to stream AEW's pay-per-view somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of what me personally I'm hoping for.
A major retailer, maybe.
Let's also very, very possible, but let's also look at this too, Meathead. AEW's on fire right now, man, and they're currently sitting at 4 pay-per-views a year, which you can make the case makes for a better product. But I think there's only going to be a matter of time before that temptation is there to branch out and extend that. Whether that has something to do with this announcement, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about it tomorrow morning with Linda Kay as well. And then tomorrow night, we're going to see it. We're going to hear it. We're going to feel it. as we make our way to Revolution this Sunday. Matthew, word has it at the PWR today that you were going to be my post pay-per-view breakdown host as well.
I am. I'm also looking forward to wearing this this hat as well too. It's been a little while since I have been the AEW dissector, and that's what I'm going to do in a few days. I'm going to take AEW, I'm going to lay it on the table, and I'm just going to dissect the heck out of it.
Well, like a frog in high school class, we are out of here. So for Mathew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. We'll talk to Linda Kay tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.